What's going on, you guys? Hero276 here, and welcome to today's video, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we will be running for you Triple Poison Team featuring Galarian Slowking, Gengar with Focus Blast, and Skuntank. As you can see, we pick up a lead against Galvantula, and this is not great for us. The problem here is that Galvantula hits for neutral damage across my whole team with its moveset and typing. So what I'm actually going to do is let myself get debuffed, and then bank the Shadow Ball, and as you can see, I came in with Gengar. Now, Gengar is so squishy that no matter what they throw, we have to shield it, and it was unfortunately just a lunge. They swap into a Drifblim, and Shadow Punch is still going to do big damage here, so we'll have to see how my opponent plays this out. They do decide to shield the Shadow Punch right there, but we have another one ready to go, and this will do some nice damage to the Drifblim right here. Alright, so we're going to look to farm down. My opponent does decide to throw, but I am going to shield because I snuck the Shadow Claw through, and Shadow Claw will register before the Hex, taking out the Drifblim. And we have a Shadow Punch ready for the Galvantula, which decides to come in, and that takes out the Galvantula, so that was a really good shield there. And in the back is Azumarill, and you know how this is going to go. We have two poison types in the back, so Azumarill has basically nowhere to run. Sludge Wave gets the shield, and now we just come in with Skuntank and build up to the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb will be doing enough damage from this range to take out the Azumarill. We survive the Hydro Pump, and we're able to reach the Sludge Bomb in time. And this is going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Sludge Bomb takes out the Azumarill. Let's hop into the next match. Alright, we got a lead up against Ariados, and that's a good lead because we're running Confusion. My opponent swaps in Mandibuzz, but we got a perfectly great response in Skuntank. Now, the great thing about Skuntank is it's resisting Snarl. If it were Air Slash, this would be a little bit different of a story. But we have Sludge Bomb here, and Sludge Bomb is going to do some nice damage. Going to get the Mandibuzz into the yellow right there. And at this point, we're just going to look to build up a ton of energy here. If we could tank a second Aerial Ace, no problem. Snarl will not be doing much, so it's very likely they're not going to be able to farm down. We're going to shield the third Aerial Ace, though, because that one would be taking us out. And I think we're going to build up a little bit and go for the Crunch on alignment after we successfully get the Denial, which is very nice. Mandibuzz shields it. I try to catch on to G-King, but they bring back in the Ariados, and this is great, honestly. I have no complaints about this matchup. Sure, lunge me. Confusion still chunks here, as you can see. So, we're going to keep going, though. Just look to shield nothing. This Ariados is getting really low, and I'm actually going to hold throwing the Shadow Ball because I want energy on my Skuntank. And at this rate, now I have both a Crunch and a Sludge Bomb for whatever decides to come in. It's going to be the Mandibuzz, so something is very weak to the Skunk in the back, and we're going to shield up the Aerial Ace right there and look to Poison Jab all the way down. Now, what's that final Pokemon? It's going to be a Jellicent. So we're just going to throw the Crunch right here, look to get the shield. We're able to get to another Crunch, and this is very nice. I think after this one, we're going to bail into Gengar and look to Shadow Claw down, which is going to be the plan. I think we caught a Bubble Beam. Yeah, it is just a Bubble Beam. That's not going to be enough. Gengar does survive the Bubble Beam. You hardly say that with any move with Gengar. Shadow Punch is going to be taking out the Jellicent, and that's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's move into the next one. Alright, game 3, and we have a lead against Golbat. Excellent lead. So my opponent's going to swap out into Cofagrigus, and I'm going to come in with Gengar. I reach a Shadow Punch, which is very good. Unfortunately, their Shadow Claws are doing ever so slightly more than our Shadow Claws, and it looks like we're going to be farmed all the way down. So I'm going to come in now with Skuntank and look to load up on a bunch of energy. I'm going to body one move because I can survive one Shadow Ball. It does a lot of damage, though, as you can see, and mind you, that's resisted damage. Kofa hits pretty hard. So I'm actually going to shield the next Shadow Ball and look to farm up on a ton of energy with the Skunk. And we successfully Poison Jab all the way down. And my opponent's third is a Beedrill. So G-King is going to have an absolute field day. Both of their Pokemon are weak to Confusion. So we're going to throw the Crunch and then bail into Slowking. Oh my gosh, guys. Those confusions are doing a lot of damage. Almost taking out the Golbat, but we are going to have to shield to respect the Shadow Ball. And it is the Shadow Ball, so that's a good shield on my part. Now, I'm going to look to confusion down the B-Drill. No point in really throwing energy. But they do reach a drill run in time, and this will be taking us out. So, now they're energy dry, and Skuntank is just going to be able to poison jab down. So that's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the next one. Alright, so game number 4, and we have a Drifblim lead. Not great, so we're going to bail into Gengar and look to throw a Shadow Punch on the CMP of the Icy Wind, which it looks like it is from here. So hopefully my opponent shields, and they do. And Obstagoon comes in. Now you might be looking at that lower left and you're thinking, you better land a Focus Blast. Well, I'm going to try. So I shield the Night Slash, and we get to the Focus Blast. Does the Obstagoon know that we're running Focus Blast? Boom! They don't know that we're running Focus Blast, and they get absolutely obliterated. Drifblim comes back in, and they're going to throw their energy. And at this point, I'm going to look to try and confusion down with the G-King. We'll have to see what happens. I don't think I'm going to be able to, so I'm going to try to catch onto the Skuntank, and we successfully catch. Now, what move did we catch? It was a Shadow Ball! No way! That is incredible right there. So we are in an excellent position. Frostlass in the back, and you know what the drill is. We're going to shield up this Avalanche and look to go for the Crunch to get the final shield. Alright, so at this rate, this Crunch should get the final shield. Yep. Alright. And at this point, I'm going to look to get to another Crunch. My opponent will not be able to farm down, so they throw their energy. So now they're completely energy dry. And we're 2 confusions off from the move, so we should be able to get there in time to the Shadow Ball, and this will KO the Frostlass from this range. So that's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's move right into the next one. Alright, let's see what we got here. Nidoqueen. Great lead. Great lead into Nidoqueen. Poison jabs are resisted. Confusions are super effective. You know the drill here. They actually switch into Mawile. Oh. And now they've stalled their game. Well, this is a little awkward. Okay, and back to our regularly scheduled video. We've got Slowking up against Drapion, horrible lead. We don't really have a great response for a Poison Dark type other than our own Poison Dark type. So this is looking a little bit tricky here in the start. They do crunch me before bailing into Dragalge, and I'm not going to lie, this isn't really looking too good. We are going to crunch the Dragalge. We don't get the defense drop, unfortunately. And they're throwing energy, so we're just going to let this go through. It's just the Aqua Tail, and they'll only be able to get 1 Dragon Claw through. Now, the good thing about this is now we can confusion down with the Galarian Slowking. So that's good, at least. We survived the Aqua Tail no problem, and we're able to confusion all the way down. I anticipate that the Poison Dark type Drapion is going to come back into the match, and they do. So I'm looking to get to the Sludge Wave, but unfortunately I don't get there. I am going to commit the shield because I don't want to go down with all this energy. And I actually bail into Gengar, and they've got a Azumarill in the back. And this is so bittersweet because our whole team does really well up against a Azumarill. Unfortunately, it's not looking possible. I'm just going to say that right now. We do have a shield left, but I like to let the Gengar go down. It barely survives the Ice Beam, and we're actually able to reach a Shadow Punch. So maybe if we can confusion down the Azumarill, that's a tall order, but hey, we have to try it. So we throw the Shadow Ball right here, because actually I see how much the confusions are doing, and they're not doing a lot. It KOs the Azumarill, and yeah, with 2 shields left and confusions doing not very effective damage, we are going to just let the G-King go down. That's a good game. You can't win them all. Alright, so next game we got a Galvantula lead. This isn't great, so we're going to bail into Skuntank and look to just hold our energy, trying to get to the crunch, but unfortunately we cannot get there. And we are going to shield the lunge right here. We farm up a little bit, and then they come into Umbreon, and this, despite being a great matchup for Skuntank, is not looking good. We're one stage debuffed, down a shield, and at a health disadvantage. It's not looking good. But we get to another Sludge Bomb before they decide to throw their energy. So now they're in the yellow. We're going to soak one move here. It's just a foul play, so that's really good. Looking to get to the next Sludge Bomb. Unfortunately, we cannot get there in time, but we are going to shield the move, and we shield up a last resort, which is really good. And now I'm going to go for the next Sludge Bomb to ensure the KO. So this should be taking out the Umbreon, unless they decide to shield, of course, which they do. And now they're throwing energy. So at this point, they should be energy dry. At this point, I'm going to look to come in with Gengar and Shadow Claw all the way down. This is a huge gamble, and we're able to Shadow Claw all the way down. That's phenomenal. And we have to see what comes into the matchup. It's going to be the Galvantula. So I'm going to farm up to the back-to-back Shadow Punches and throw the first one. This should take out the Galvantula from this range. But they do decide to shield, and we have a second Shadow Punch loaded. This should be taking out the Galvantula from this range. And in the back is a Grand Ball. And this is so good right now. All we have to do, come in with G-King and look to get to a move. And we get to the Shadow Ball. And this will be taking out the Grand Ball for the win. Let's go. That's a good game to my opponent. Very well played. Let's hop into the next one. Alright, hopping into the next game, and we got Alolan Ninetales on the lead. You always love to see a Fairy type against a Poison type. This is just where you want to be with this team. And they're not switching out either. And now they switch out into Mandibuzz, but, you know, they were staying in for quite a while there. We do reach the Sludge Wave, and this will do some nice damage onto the Mandibuzz. And now we're just going to bring in the Skuntank. Once again, this Mandibuzz is running Snarl, which is a very good matchup for Skuntank. We can safely sponge 2 Aerial Aces here, and here comes a second. We will have to shield up a third if they get there, but we should be able to outpace the Sludge Bomb. I'm actually going to overfarm a little bit and then go for the Sludge Bomb, just to ensure the KO, and my opponent does decide to let it go. And in comes Alolan Ninetales, and they're going to throw energy to take me out, and this is great. I'm just going to bring in G-King. Let's do it. And I'm going to look to Confusion all the way down and leave with a ton of energy for whatever's in back. And it's Nidoqueen. And my back 2 Pokemon luckily have great matchups, shields up against Nidoqueen. So this is really nice. They go for a Poison Fang straight away. I'm not shielding anything. I'm just going to let Gengar do its thing. We get a shield off of the Shadow Punch. Really, I'm just going to let Gengar, you know, run down their shields. It does hit very hard, and Shadow Punch will do big damage if they decide to let it go through. And I'm not going to shield anything in return. Galarian Slowking is going to close. So, Nidoqueen does decide to throw energy to take me out. But at this rate, 1 Confusion should be enough to take out the Nidoqueen from this range. They actually try to catch onto it Alolan Ninetales, and we go for the Sludge Wave BM. You'll love to see it. And that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. And that's going to do it for the battles. Overall, this team was very solid and went 9-6. I think a lot of the Pokemon here that are using this team are underused currently in the meta. So I think it threw a lot of opponents off guard. However, this team, as you can see, has no real clear answer for Mandibuzz with Air Slash or with Drapion. But, you know, with every spicy team, there's a small price to pay. Anyways, with the link in the description below, you can have access to my new album, Cube Root, which is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and more. Just visit the link in my description for the Spotify link. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.